affiliates. So,
If
as one.
we got pregnant with this stream baby, our stream baby would have been born,
Hmm.
and I don't know the timeline for children. Would it be
5 months
walking?
now. It you so if we had a baby, or if we got pregnant when you became affiliate and had a stream baby, your baby would definitely be walking. It would already be saying words, very likely. Um, maybe. No, that's too fast. Is it? God.
My
Because
stream baby, my stream
you're
baby
like
never
20
learned
months,
how to
right?
say mommy. It just says sir.
You're like 20 months. So your baby's like almost a year, right?
Yeah,
Because I think you got affiliate like 6 months before me or something.
something like that.
Something. I don't know. Vox has a baby. Vox would know. Hello, Vox. Hello, Nicki Minaj.
Vox,
She's so
can you
cute.
clarify what our stream baby would be doing right now if it were an actual baby other than shitting itself on a regular basis?
We have a 5 month old and an 11th month old. So the 5 month old, I think, can start eating soft solids. I think. I don't know. Listen, my sister's best friend had a baby. He's over a year old. All I know is at this point, he knows what he likes. He can be vocal. He's, to be honest, he's actually a little bit behind when it comes to speaking. He was a little bit behind for walking, but he all of a sudden just like caught up real fast to that, and now he runs. So 10 months and Daddy Myers for Dead Talk. Happy belated Halloween. Yes. Thank you for 10 months, Lukey. Let me give you a quick shout out. Um, did you hear Baby Talk? You did hear Baby Talk.
Robin is now first on my stream. Hello, Lukey.
Yay! Robin is confirmed first for both.
Yes.
Robin still can't talk or walk or eat solid.
Robin is still incubating.
Robin plays a mean ukulele. And because you are a baby. Oh, babies are gross. I agree. I I've always wanted to adopt. Since I was like a child myself. I was like, I'm not gonna have a baby, I'm gonna adopt. But even then I was like, but I'm going to adopt an older child. Like past like at minimum they are potty trained. But ideally like 10 or up.
That,
At this point I'm like, yeah, I would totally adopt like a teenager. Like that's what I want. But uh always has been like I like babies the way I like dogs. I can live with them for a week. I love it when they belong to other people. When it's not a 24/7 responsibility, I think they're great. But I don't want the baby all to myself.
this works out because, like, I don't like babies at all. Like, for some reason, I get nauseated when I see babies. But I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, if you adopt something that's not like that, then hey, I can actually be an auntie. I won't just like vanish and only be online friends for like 5 years and then this comes strutting back and you're like hi.
It'll be nice when you get to see Kylie again. If I'm adopting Lukey's adoptable. Ooh, noted.
Ooh.
I don't think you want to come here though. I think you have a
Yeah.
slightly better deal. Um, in the UK, personally speaking. Um, your cat girl bossing in the background. She really is though. Look at her. Just Coco really steals the show.
You know, we could probably get like joint custody of Lukey. You know,
Ooh,
just like take Lukey every couple of months. You know, we
that's
just
fair.
pick Lukey
Lukey
up from the
could.
airport.
I'm trying to think whose winters are worse, Lukey's or ours? I feel like at this point, because of global warming, Lukey's, because
Hello,
ours,
Ruddy.
our winters have been pretty moderate for the last couple of years.
Thank you
We
for the
haven't,
lurk.
I think we had a polar vortex like 2 years ago, but
I don't know. I all I know is that if Lukey ever came to visit, I would not be like, "Hey, come visit where we are right now." Be like, "Listen, we're gonna go on vacation somewhere that's not going to fuck up your sinuses with or the air pollution, like the allergies. We're gonna go somewhere that's
Florida.
yeah. We'll go to Florida. You know, you got the gators, you got the snakes,
Just stay away from the swamp.
and you got the Florida man.
Oh, and the
But
Florida and the water. We can't forget the Florida water. That's something we should always warn everyone about.
yeah,
Look, I know Lukey does have a trip planned to go to Florida one day, so I will warn you, Lukey. There are drinking fountains around the parks. Um, the water does taste literally like farts, and that is because there's sulfur in the water.
yeah, you gotta buy water or get a place with a really good filter. I had an Airbnb that had a bitchin' filter, and I was like, this is the best
Oh
water
yeah.
of my life.
Uh, used to love winters, but living in a place that gets freezing until May. No thanks. Yeah, that's ugh.
Yeah, come on down to
Um,
Florida. We'll meet you there.
this has nothing to do with anything, but I love seasons. It honestly made the game so much better. I really like making your Sims do laundry. Get laundry day if you don't have it. But yes, I'm glad you got seasons. It's my top recommendation for any DLC for The Sims 4. It, it's a requirement, honestly. It it just makes the game bearable.
If anybody wants seasons in real life, then we can be like, okay, come to where we are because sometimes we get all 4 seasons in a week.
Yeah, it's one of those places. Austin, Texas is also very similar to all 4 seasons in a week,
Mm,
but with a slightly warmer winter. I say slightly, but I mean, we do remember what last year was like. So,
yeah.
but that was also a freak of nature, what happened. So,
It'd be weird watching the stream on our time. Yeah. Yeah. Um
you're just awake and you're just like, why am I not tired? Why am I not falling asleep in the middle of this? Wait, where was Lizard Man from again? Let's go there. Lizard Man's from here. And it was the Frog Man.
Oh yeah, Frogman.
Frogman is from where we're at.
Isn't Mothman in the area too, or is he he's like an hour or two away?
He's a couple of hours away. Mothman's West Virginia.
Okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's Coco's world. We're just living in it. I know. Look at her. Just back there giving everyone a show. The real entertainment.
The funny thing is, Bahamut's sitting on my lap. He can't see him at all, but he's here.
Oh,
He's watching.
I love it.
This is the closest he can get to Coco now.
I love that we picked the same picture for the dead talk. Yours is just more zoomed in than mine.
Mm.
I love it.
I
Hi,
mean,
Coco.
I could have picked one of the Slutty Myers pictures that I saw on there.
Could have. I
Yeah.
don't know if you'd still be a streamer on Twitch afterward, but yeah, I would pull that up off of screen
Hang on,
just to be safe.
yeah, we'll do this one. We'll put this one over here for everybody. Hang on, let's shrink that bad boy a little bit so we can just fit her in here.
What's wrong with his
There you go.
skin? Oh, it's a is that supposed to be a shirt?
This is supposed to be a shirt, but it's just painted on, body paint, you know. Just we'll leave this one right here, dead center. Oh yeah. Look at them nips, man. Look at those nips.
Beautiful. Oh man.
So yeah, we'll leave that one up there.
So I have my picture, which is the Dead by Daylight poster from the Halloween chapter. And if you guys want to go stop by Zen's, she currently has shirtless Meyer. And I won't blame you if you leave me for shirtless Meyer. Or you can have both put up at the same time and
Yeah.
show dual support.
Get a little bit of everything from everybody. Thank you, merciful Lord, for the nips.
You know what? I'm really glad they did give him nips in the render
Hmm.
because I think it would be weird if he didn't have them.
They're decent nips.
Spoiler, guys, it's worth having both up. I love it.
uh, See, if they made this type of stuff, just made really slutty killers, like, behavior would make a fortune. Because DBD is just filled with thirst traps. Like,
It really is.
everybody's obsessed with very specific killers.
Yeah, I think the only issue is that like most of the ones people thirst after are also licensed. And so you have to get the buy-in from the
Ugh, I
license
hate
holder.
everyone today.
I know what'll make you feel
So
better.
that part's
Murdering
tricky.
everyone!
Thank you for the follow, Nicki Minaj. Yeah, that's true. Because there's a lot of ghost face, Pyramid Head, and Myers people. Most of the people that are hot for Doctor are the Doctor mains. Because I've had to do a lot of
Ugh.
research about Doctor this past week to get ready for Friday, and
Every time I look at his eyes, I come close to throwing up. So I don't understand how anybody could thirst for Doctor. Um,
they
I
like
don't get
his
it.
they like the stick. They like the sound that it makes when it thumps off of people,
Ugh.
and the shocking. Like they're very sound oriented. Like they're either like hot for Doctor, love the sounds, or think he's metal as fuck, or a little bit of all of them.
I'm gonna go on record and just say allosexuals are weird. And I will Huntress all the way. I agree with this. See, I can get the appeal behind Huntress. I understand that.
And I mean, now that we've seen that he's got one, can we just get like a thong trapper?
Trapper quite literally has the best ass in the game.
Because then he could literally set thirst traps. That's what
And
I'm going
plague.
with.
I get the appeal for plague. What sexuals? Allosexuals. It's the opposite of asexual. So people who are actually sexually attracted to anything. Results may vary.
Little shaking head. Oh, he's so cute.
Oh, Bahamut.
Yeah, he's hiding away from the camera, like he just shook his little head and he's looking at me all sleepy like. I'm like, oh, look at you. Look at you, you precious baby. I mean, they
Just
also
at
have,
Robin.
they also have Trickster. I mean, we could totally go with
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, Trickster's already like his he only has a coat
beach
and the lowest cut pants.
beach bay Trickster.
Trickster
He just has a
it,
thong and the jacket and a
Trickster
pool noodle.
has lower cut pants than 2000s era Christina Aguilera.
That is accurate, yeah. That tracks.
I don't like anything like old men, and that's it. Not to be confused with arrows. Yes. Um, so there's romantic, aromantic, asexual, and allosexual. Stares at Oni/reader fanfic tabs in Safari. I'll never knock anybody who reads fanfic, though. Lana Del, you did not just call Robin Lana Del Rey. That almost a ban-worthy insult.
Most of Legion could be thirst traps.
I was gonna say, I actually thought of Frank before I thought of Trickster because I know a lot of people really thirst after Frank.
And Oni does have a large fuck following.
Don't
They
understand it in the same way I don't understand the Doctor.
well, I mean,
But Nikki's
he's
also over here reading fan fiction, so like I believe you.
Okay, Lukey, I went to go search for my picture because I always put a picture up for DBD, and I searched DBD Michael Myers, and it mostly gave me porn. It gave me that cat, and it gave me the shirtless Michael, and then the safe picture I threw in there. So, but yeah, I mean, Oni is like big muscle boy. Like you take that armor off, and it's just angry muscles.
I imagine he's a butterface though.
That like you keep the mask on, it's fine.
You'd
People like
have
that
to.
shit.
You'd have to. Vox likes Joey and Oni's. Joey's also a cutie.
Yeah. It's like Susie's and Joey's are usually very nice people.
They're adorable. It's about personality.
It's
You
like
thirst over Oni and you're proud of it because he has daddy milkers. I love that.
like it's kind of like asking somebody what their favorite Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle is. Like what your favorite survivor is and what your favorite killer is says something about your personality.
That's fair.
That's literally why I'm able to make my TikToks is because people tend to act a certain way based on who they're playing.
I got I fell asleep early last night and then I woke up in the middle of the night and I decided to go ahead and play a doctor match to get that one challenge done so I never have to touch him again.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a Nancy, so obviously like I let her go. I got everyone dead on hook and then I was like, okay, y'all can leave. But when they finished the last gen, I was in chase with Nancy, so I saw which door they were going to. I downed her and I started carrying her to the door. Kate got in the way. So since Kate got in the way and I didn't make it to the door, I downed Kate, killed her, and then I went and I downed Nancy again and carried her to the door. And after the gate, Nancy was just like, "Why?" And I was like, "I love Nancy."
I went to do the doctor challenge today, and I generally don't kill anybody as a killer. I try and farm with them. They are really suspicious of doctor.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
walked up to them, like I looked at them. I saw them on the generator, and I did zappy far away from them, like looking at them, like, bzzzt, and they just fucking scattered. And I'm like, okay, let's. I followed them, and somebody went behind a rock, so I zapped them, and I just stayed there and zapped them over and over again. And then I peeked out from behind the rock and went over to a pallet and I tapped it, like, come here, you can drop it on me, it's fine. It's all right. And they're just like, oh, fuck, you went that way? I'm out of here. And I'm just like,
Well, okay, think about how many doctors we've had in the last like 2 weeks.
mm-hmm.
And think about how most of them have played. Would you trust a doctor?
If they acted like that, I would.
I feel like you would also die because most doctors would actually use it as a trap.
I just, I just wanted to be nice to them.
And people don't trust nice anymore. um, let's see. I like Ash and Plague. What does that say? I'm gay. Really though, anybody who likes Plague is not straight. Even guys that like Plague, you're not straight. First thought after seeing Oni was something LGBT just happened to me. No ed docs are so common. Trust to know how. Right? 100%. Don't
Like,
call me. I'm sorry, Fox.
if it tells you anything, a Felix dropped a pallet and then he accidentally vaulted it right in front of me.
Oh, that's so
And
precious.
I just looked at him and then he slow vaulted back over. And it's like, I could have yanked your ass right off of that pallet. Still did not trust me at all. And I'm just like,
Speaking of, I remapped my controller finally. So we won't have another incident like when I failed a CJ. And Yeah. I gotta get used to it. I was playing a couple tutorial matches last night to get used to just like being able to drop pallets and vault during chase. And there's still a couple times I hit the old button, but I'm getting better at it. So
I feel like the only like killers I could play and reliably communicate like, "Hi, I'm being nice to you," is
big.
Pig with almost 100% success rates, and Wraith, which has been 50-50. It was really good, like really easy until he got buffed. After that buff, sweet baby Jesus, people are just like, fuck no. And I'm like, I'm just, I am literally in the gas station ringing a bell, buddy. Like, what do you want from me? Drop the
I have
pallet, asshole.
I have a really easy time farming with Legion because I'll just go and I'll frenzy everyone and then I'll just fuck off. And when I see them again, sometimes I'll go in frenzy and I won't chase after them. I'll just sit there like, and then they just watch me for a minute. So I have a pretty decent time with farming as Legion. Nobody trusts me as Billy. Even though like when I play Billy, I don't even try to farm. I don't even try to kill. When I play Billy, it's specifically because I want to see how long I can do a single sprint on the map. So I'm just running around the whole time.
I feel
And
like
people have gotten mad at me about it too.
Trickster's also a hard one for me to get people to farm with. Just kind of a bummer.
That
It's like,
stinks.
listen, I just need you to hold still so I can 50-50 maybe hit you. Just, it's all I need.
Those trickster challenges right now in the tomes.
It's like, I do like to play clown because I don't hit them. I just keep chucking bottles. Just like, poof, poof. And then they're just sitting there like, why is this happening? And I'm just like, I'm just having a good time. Don't mind me.
Do you make sure it's the yellow ones too?
Nah, it's the
You
pink
should.
ones. I just
Make it
like,
yellow. Give them the speed.
I just like the screaming.
You're so tired of frying chicken, but it's gonna be worth it because you'll have fried chicken when you're done. Started playing Trickster and find him easier than Huntress on controller. He is significantly easier than Huntress because you can just spam and like you'll hit some of them. Whereas Huntress, you got to be a little bit exact.
Yeah.
Why is it spicy? Sorry. Um, Trickster is for me, Trickster is kind of like Nurse, where when I start playing him, my first match is really, really, really rough. But then after that, like I'm fine. I can hit most shots and be okay. But it takes a second to get the muscle memory going. Yes, exactly. Yeah, same experience. I know. Robin, I've been seeing the achievements that you were getting with Trickster. Well done. 1,000 cuts. I think that's what one of them is called.
I just like putting party hats on people's pig. I get so many kills from that. It's like I've chased people like, hey, I'm like they know that I'm farming. They drop pallets with me. We all teabag, we have a good time. And then somebody does a generator and they're still here and I'm like, dude, go. Like I chase them like trying to stop the timer. And then they
Yeah.
open the door and they walk out and explode their head and I'm like, "No."
So when you have to kill 8 survivors, just do it as the pig.
Yeah, cuz they take care of it all by themselves.
I have you ever played 50-50 as pig?
No.
So I believe it's called Amanda's Letter, if it's the right add-on I'm thinking of. But she has an add-on that makes it so that she has one bear trap and there's only two puzzle boxes on the map. And what she does is she downs somebody, puts the trap on them, and then camps in front of one of the boxes.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Didn't you die to that? Or Alex did?
I think Alex did actually, yeah, on Midwich. Um, but basically, it's just either the one you're in front of is the one they need and they're going to die because you're not going to move, and everyone else gets to live. That's the deal. Like 50-50. If they get it off because you picked the wrong one to guard, they get it
Mm-hmm.
off. But if they don't, they die. Everyone else gets to go. You only need you're only playing 50-50 with one of them. So, people fucking hate it. I'll tell you that now. People hate me on the receiving end of it. I think it's hilarious. But I am curious if they'll rework the new add-on that where she puts traps or where you start with the traps on your head.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they'll rework that or not because that's pretty insane. You want to try that now? Do it, Luki. Do it while you're on PS4. No one can yell at you in post-game
Yes.
chat.
They'll just
Um,
send you private messages.
anytime I do it, I lobby dodge until I get people who are not PC. Because I'm not going to be yelled at for having fun. I do want to try her new add-on on RPD with rule set number 2. I think that would be a lot of fun. And then there's the hacker who's going around
Yeah.
with that add-on, which Siptonic has a clip on TikTok where he beat their game. They gave him hatch because they obviously all the survivors start with them on, and then the hacker makes it so gens just instantly pop. So everyone's racing for traps. He got his off first, everyone else died, and Pig gave him hatch.
Nice.
And he was like, "Did I win the game?" And they were just like, "Yes."
That's amazing.
I had that with the hidden boxes the other night, and it would have been awful if we didn't spawn on Hawkins where boxes are just in the open. That's why I want to intentionally send people to RPD. I want to make it so they either have a nightmare finding boxes without seeing them, or they finish a gen to find the boxes, but also have trouble navigating the map. I will play hands off. I won't harass anybody who has a trap on. I just want to experiment with do they die and how quickly.
If they die with a trap on, that technically doesn't count as a sacrifice to the entity, right? Or does
It
the
counts
entity
as
take
killing.
credit for it?
It counts as killing them. Like you don't get hook or sacrifice points, but you get kill points.
Mm.
It's the same as Morrying. We get a follow up to the pig vid on YouTube then. Soon, one day. I gotta actually like play killer for more than 3 matches before I get bored.
It is not a lot of fun playing killer.
It's just boring. There's so much micromanaging.
So we have
So,
people that are like looking at Myers and going,
when
"Well,
are they gonna
that's
actually talk about Myers and not pig?
well, that's not a Demogorgon." Uh, just FYI, since I was sick last week, oh, Fuzz just decided to fuck off all of a sudden. Um, we wanted to do Myers for Halloween, so that's we'll have to do.
Demo next week.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I'm done harassing Coco. Um, she's just so cute. I have to touch her. But yeah, Myers. Whose turn is it to storytell?
I don't know. To be fair, I did not go back and rewatch the movie, so I've
No,
got
I didn't
some.
either.
We'll just give them what we know. So Myers has been described as evil incarnate. Didn't he stab somebody as a kid? Like,
His
wasn't that the
sister Judith.
okay? So he stabbed the kid as a kid, and they hauled him off, and they pretty much decided like this guy is just he's evil for the sake of being evil. There's no good in him at all, and he escaped in his little underoos. He killed a guy in his car and took his jumpsuit. And then he started stalking Laurie. And it was, for some reason, he didn't just like go straight for her. He just kind of followed her and then killed all of her friends who were just making stupid decisions. As well as, Laurie just like constantly being like, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Nobody's out there. Nobody's staring in this house. Nobody's out killing people. And then finally she's, after everybody's fucking dead, and the kid she's been babysitting has told her for like the millionth time that there's this dude in a jumpsuit and a mask and a knife standing out on the corner. He finally comes after her, and then she goes into a room, shuts a door, slams her whole body into the door to listen to it. Oh my god, just the amount of stupid shit that Laurie did. Like, she got through that by pure Michael-based mercy, I swear to God.
She stabbed him with a hanger.
Oh, thanks for visiting from TikTok. This is our Dead Talk. We try to decide what survivors would survive in a horror movie with the killers, and we decided to do Michael today since yesterday was Halloween.
Yes.
But yeah, Laurie just like, it was just sheer stupid shit after stupid shit. Like, she got the knife.
So she stabbed him with a coat hanger,
Yeah.
a knitting needle, a knife.
And then she assumed he was dead and left him with the knife. It's like, get the weapon away from him. We're just doing the original movie Michael, not the stuff that falls after. Because apparently it gets real convoluted. Because I had a lot of unhappy people showing up for my Laurie video. So we're just gonna pretend that those other movies didn't happen. I can't take that kind of heat. Laurie is the toxic friend who refuses to admit there's a problem until it affects them. Yeah, but to be fair, she was babysitting that one kid, and that kid did make it.
True. She is the best babysitter.
So as long as you are technically in her care, you'll be okay. But yeah, he took some punishment. I did see a confirmation from the director saying that Michael is not immortal. He's just very persistent.
Yes. Another really interesting fact. So a couple weeks ago, I ended up on a version of TikTok where somebody was doing a whole analysis of Halloween. And something they pointed out that I never really thought of before is...
Thanks for visiting.
Michael killed his sister when he was 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then Halloween is taking place 15 years after that.
Yeah.
So he is only 21 years old during the events. And I never thought of that. And they were like, if you consider it, because I'm going to alienate a large portion of our audience. 21 is still can be very immature at times.
Yeah.
And one of the scenes that they pointed out to show that, like, yeah, he's still a goofy little 20-something is when he kills Laurie's friend's boyfriend.
Uh-huh.
And then takes his glasses. And then he apparently, like, goes through the house, finds a spare sheet, cuts some holes into it, puts it over his head as a sheet ghost, then puts the guy's glasses over that. Like, he didn't have to go through all of that.
Yeah.
But he was just like, it would be really funny if I dress up as a sheet ghost and go stab this bitch. And I was like, I was listening to this TikTok. I was like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
Like, if I think about it, like, that's something minus the actual murder part. But that is absolutely the sense of humor that my brother would have had when he was 21. And I was like, that checks out. Like,
Yeah. And also, he spent a lot of time in, like, the asylum. And he, number one, he's built because he can straight up just one arm lift somebody off the ground.
right.
Which, like, that is a feat in and of
I
itself.
know we're focusing on the first movie only, but the trailer for the new movie, like, he's literally just, like, picking up and throwing full-grown firemen in
Yeah.
full equipment. Like,
Well, he's had time to mature, I guess. Because I'm assuming, since, like, I've seen pictures of Lori, so she's obviously
it's been 40
older.
years. It's
Yeah.
been 40 years.
So it's like, okay, so you go from 5-year-old that was able to kill their sister to 21-year-old lifting somebody off of the ground with one hand to 40 years later of that kind of, like, musculature and work. Like,
He's just always working out.
dude's just built like a truck, man.
So I just have to say, David stands no chance.
Yeah, David's gonna, like, try and stand off, and, like, Michael's not even gonna move. Just intimidation check, just passed. Like, Michael's so, like, has so much oomph to him that it's a David inside of a David to get within, like, a pinky finger's worth of strength.
We need to have a D&D with the big bad evil guy inspired by Meyer.
We ought to just play a D&D game as some of the DBD killers, just see what happens.
That would be hilarious. They go up against the entity.
Yeah. With our luck, though, Alex would end up being Deathslinger, who's supposed to be, like, our smart guy. And he just rolls straight ones, and it's like, God damn it!
Who had Hellwagon?
Shit. Let me pull up the list of killers. Let's see who he would end up doing.
Because my gut instinct says clown. Just so he could be drunk the whole time.
Uh,
But also, if Max joined us, Max would call clown instantly.
yeah.
And he wouldn't have a chance.
I could see him going for Oni.
Yes,
He
actually,
does,
you know what?
he does try to play the aloof character on a regular basis.
And the kind that can just like I'm thinking of his Minotaur character.
Yeah.
And obviously there's also Minotaur Oni skin, but
I could see him going Blight or Oni. If we're being
you would play
realistic.
Plague, wouldn't you? Or Huntress.
I don't know. I might do Wraith. I love Wraith. He's a cute little boy. And I wouldn't be communicating with you in words. I would just have a bell over here.
That checks out for you.
Just be playing with little chimes.
I like that.
I would like to make an
He would
attempt
be
to
a-
communicate.
He would be a bard. Wraith would be a bard. I think I would want to do like the Legion. But like
Or Ghostface. I would
somehow
love doing
be able to be
Ghostface.
all four. Like multi-classing somehow and be like, when I'm Susie, I'm
They
a
just-
bard.
You just tag in. I mean, it's the fog.
Yeah.
Just like, Frank, we don't want to talk with you. Could we have Susie back? And he just, like, steps into the fog, and Susie steps out. And, hi, guys!
No, it's really just one person and they switch masks.
Just switches jacket, puts a new mask on. This is Frank. He literally,
It's
like,
it's all Julie, but when they're Frank, they just like, this is Frank. Or just her voice.
we, like, ask you a question, like, okay, do you think you want to go left or right? And you're just like, hold on, let me ask the others. And you just stand there and move around in a circle, switching masks and jackets.
Hey, yeah, yeah. Oh, we got confirmation. Vox wants this to happen.
I'll have to ask the troops if they would be able to do this. We might be able to get Alex's sister to play, depending on the time.
Yes.
Although she might have to play a quiet character, so her children don't know that we're sending people to heaven on the third hook.
Billy doesn't talk.
True. She just
Billy just grunts.
has to make the little like purring noises.
You're a huge D&D fan, Fox. Well, good news. On Sundays, normally, I mean, lately we've been swiffing because Alex has been finishing up school, but on Zen's channel, Sundays are typically actually Dungeons and Dragons night. So
yeah, it's supposed to be. We would have to work out who's going to be the DM though, because that's always the challenge. But I do like the system we were playing before.
I did like that system. Yes, my brain still really struggles with it. But I'm getting there.
Yeah,
and I like the flexibility of it.
I do too.
I just also need structure to understand things. So like it's difficult. It's a love-hate because I'm just like I really like this. I know it can be great, but I'm dumb. It doesn't work.
I was gonna say we might need to find a system that lets us be a little bit more bonkers. Like, you know how 3.5 I literally had enough jump in Lucille that we could cast Featherfall and we could fly on her.
Yes, I really actually love 3.5 still.
Like when you get enough points into it, like you can get real crazy with it. But I'll ask Alex. He obsesses over all of this stuff, and I'm sure him and Hellwagon have had a lot of time to talk this stuff over, and I'm sure they could figure something out that would work for this.
Oh yeah.
So
his main character's a halfling wizard, in quotes, a sus wizard. Yeah, so it is always up to the DM of what happens. But
I was gonna say we could also have everybody has like 3 or 4 killers that they can cycle through, so that we can have everybody and just like all right, draw a card. Okay, I got Wraith and Doctor, Spirit, and Demo. And then, you know, we have to figure out who's going out today.
Demo would be so fun.
Make the chat vote.
Could you imagine if you're just like, if I played Demo, I would want them to be some sort of a detective.
Oh my god. Alex, yes, you were being summoned.
To just be able to just like have a really high investigation check.
Yes.
As Demo, like
you literally gotta be
wears
Demo Dog.
Yes, with a monocle.
Your investigation, you just put the monocle on and then just start sniffing the ground and following the trail.
Little petals.
Alex, we were discussing playing why did you awaken me from my lamp? We have an odd request here. Apparently chat would really like to have us play D&D, but play the killers from DBD, which would obviously require a system that's got some really bonkers shit to be able to do. So I had mentioned your name because I'm pretty sure between Alex and Hellwagon, they would probably be able to like nail down a system that would allow that to happen. And then we'd have to figure out who would be the DM for that shit. And then with how many killers there are, be like, okay, so, you know, one person gets like 4 of the killers and then the chat gets to, so D, B, D, and D, yes. That's what we're going for. Dead by Dungeons and Dragons. And then figuring out who would be able to DM this monster of a thing.
If we rotated.
Oh, Jesus. That would be fun. Except that we would have to have a very good understanding of the rules, or just...
Yeah.
You know, how I kept rolling where I was like, I don't understand the rules, but I'm going to make it like I do. I'm going to play pretend. I know what I'm doing. Believe me. I'm sure I could turn this into a board game of sorts. Go build us a system, baby. Build us a system and come back. All right, this is your obsession for the week. Build us a D&D game that is based entirely around the DBD killers. Peas and carrots. Love you much.
Including licensed killers.
Including licensed killers, yes. And then, everybody's got their pool of characters and just put up in chat, like, okay, who's Dino playing today? Whoever gets Myers just never fucking plays anybody else because Robin's always there. Robin starts to lose, and then Robin just calls in every single person. Like, I need you to get on right now and vote for Myers. Have that little sound bite of the every time you ask somebody a question.
We'll make like pre-made character sheets for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
That way it's easiest to pass it around.
So we got sidetracked.
We did. By a lot.
Yeah, just right off the cliff.
It was legend. Wait for Ted to leave because he's now the Blitz. Dairy. Legendary.
He's going into lurk mode. I assume that means good things.
Good.
So, coming back to our dead talk.
Yeah.
So I think we kind of covered it. Like, very, very strong individual who can take a lot of blows. He was stabbed by a coat hanger. I don't from how he reacted to that, I really don't think it hurt him that bad. I think that since we mentioned the sheet ghost, he was just fucking with her at that point. Like,
I think he was surprised that she actually fought back because the others didn't really put up much of a fight.
Yeah.
And then I could also see him just acting.
Like, oh no, I died to a coat hanger.
Vanishes with a knife.
Yeah. Because it ended up being her that survives. The kid she was babysitting, she got to safety. And then wasn't there like a cop or a dude that was from the asylum that was like coming
his
with
doctor,
her?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his doctor has been trailing him down ever since he escaped.
Mm-hmm.
A really bad job of it.
Yeah.
But
yeah, he made an
he's
effort.
just trying to do. I had some thoughts. I just want to throw them out there.
Yeah.
These can happen in any sort of order. For Last Survivor, I really want Lori, obviously.
She's made it this far.
It would feel wrong for her to die to him.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be a very severe injustice to the lore. And then I also thought about it. I really want a scene of Michael and Ash fighting. Where Michael just literally rips the chainsaw off of Ash's arm.
See, I absolutely
kills him with it.
I absolutely imagined that he would have an encounter with Ash. Just like Michael's in a house stalking somebody and Ash just walks in and goes, "So I heard everyone keeps calling you Daddy. I too have been called Daddy before." Just see him coming in. That's the start of the fight.
Robin says that they're fighting over them, obviously. Robin also says they both win, but no.
They're fighting out in a yard. You know, somebody's sprinkler goes off. Everybody gets wet.
Oh, I also thought about it. So on the map Haddonfield, there's 7 houses, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So we can pick some people who just like already live on the street.
True.
Easily enough to get some people placed. And then we can have ones who don't live on the street who are maybe just like visiting friends. Mm-hmm. So like obviously Lori lives in the Strode house. But the teens could be hanging out at her place. Like,
mm-hmm. Yeah, my last survivor, I had Lori and Tap.
Oh, interesting.
So I figured if anybody's going to be tracking Michael, like from beginning to end, it was probably going to be Tap.
You know what? He would fill that role very well. You're right.
And then first Ed, I had just the entire teen squad, because that's just how it goes in those movies. Like, you're friends with Lori, she's technically not babysitting you.
Just all of them.
Yep. Just one at a time, but technically the teen squad's just... Lori is currently babysitting Victor because, she got along with Charlotte really well, so Charlotte's out having a night by herself.
Everyone, when they die, she can call the cops, and then we introduce Jill and Leon. That can work. Okay. Am I missing anybody from the teen squad? It's those 6, right?
Let's see. It's Lori, Fung, Quentin, Nancy, Steve, Cheryl. I think that's it. We haven't quite figured out where Michaela's going to fit in on all this.
I know. This is her first episode. So, we could figure that out today.
Yeah.
But order of death. So I imagine they're all hanging out at Lori's.
Mm-hmm.
It's Halloween.
Yes.
Obviously. And they're gonna watch some scary movies or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
Quentin goes to make popcorn.
Nobody notices that he's gone.
Quentin never returns.
The only thing, they're literally he's like, I'm gonna go make popcorn. And he goes to go make popcorn, and he doesn't come back, but, they just casually, does anybody notice that Quentin got hot recently? They're like, did he ever hang out with us before, or is this his first time?
No, as soon as he leaves the room, Steve's just like, that's Quentin, right? And everybody's like, yeah. And then Steve's just like, dude looks fucking hot. Nancy just slaps Steve, we're together again. You can't call other people hot. So he goes to make popcorn. He never comes back. Mm-hmm. It's an hour later. And then somebody's just like, wasn't Quentin supposed to bring in some popcorn? Where'd he go?
Nancy's getting real, jealous that Steve complimented Quentin, so have to have the mandatory teenage bang session that ends in death.
He's gonna make it up to her.
Yeah. Cheryl's just been standing by the window, and she's like, I think there's a guy out there. Lori's like, no. And then Quentin, goes away, and then she watches the guy leave. She's like, he just walked away. Quentin hasn't been back. Yeah, I know. And there's this guy. He's back again. Okay. We're gonna go upstairs and have some fun. Guys, the guy just walked away again. Cheryl's just calling it. And then Lori's just like, no. He's not there. Every time she looks out the window, no, he's not there. And Cheryl's just like...
Yes, this is set on Halloween night. So Lukey says old Quentin leaves to make popcorn and hot Quentin comes back and everyone's like, who the fuck is this guy? Which I do like that idea, but I think I'm gonna stick with he goes to make popcorn and just never comes back.
Yeah.
So I think after Quentin leaves, Steve makes the comment of dude's fucking hot now, and then Nancy's just like, how dare you?
Yeah.
And then Steve's like, you're still the only one for me, and then they leave.
I love that mask emote.
Ooh,
I love the mask. The mask is one of my favorite comics of all time. And I love the movie.
I have not seen the movie in years.
I love the movie. Obligatory sex and death. It's double penetration, but not in the way that you think. It's just the knife goes through both of them.
Oh no. So Cheryl's looking out the window watching.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fung could be the one that's just like, Quint's been gone for a while. I'm gonna go check on him.
Cheryl's like, he's walking away again. There's nobody out there. My God.
Lori's just like, will you sit down and watch the movie? I don't want to have to rewind it just because you missed it.
Oh yeah, because they'd have VCRs.
They would. Back in the olden days. How are we gonna kill Cheryl?
She goes to like call the police, but the line's cut, and she's like, Lori, your line's cut. Lori's like, it's probably just an issue with the phone company. Welcome back. And she's like, I'm gonna go across the street and call. And she makes the call. But, you know, Miguel is right behind her.
She makes the call and she's like, I can't leave Lori alone. So she starts to go back, and then Miguel catches her before she gets back into the house.
Yes. Okay, so the way this works is, so our killer is Michael today. So we go through the full list of survivors and figure out who's going to be the first ones to die. So we got our first dead up here, which we do have a bit of a headcanon because we've got the teen squad, we got the bro squad. The cops always travel together for the most part. And we just try and figure out how they would die, the order that they would die, and whether or not anybody would make it out alive.
So we're starting off with killing all teenagers.
Yeah, we're just killing the teenagers.
Everyone was, they're all friends. Everybody's hanging out at Lori's place for Halloween, watching a scary movie. Quentin goes to make popcorn, dies.
And to be fair, like, we tend to have with Cheryl a very, like, she seems to have, like, a low fuck, like, capacity since we've been making her in these little movies that we have.
She's been through so much worse than anything Dead by Daylight can do to her.
Yeah, like, in the face of death, she's just like, all right, well, I'll be back. Like, she's been through the ringer and she remembers a lot of it. Like, as she every time she comes back, like, even if she dies, it's usually not an instance of, like, she's screaming or makes a mistake. It's just, like, she kind of accepts that it's gonna happen. She's seen a lot of shit, and she's not gonna be, like, screaming and running, like, scream queening or anything. Usually she dies, like, completely on accident.
True.
But it's never, like, screaming or anything. But Michael has this ability that even if you are running, like, full speed, somehow he power walks after you.
I would say he walks so fast.
Yeah, dude has got legs for days. He's got, what you don't see is when the camera cuts away, he's got those little skate shoes. He just goes and wheelies down the road.
Forget that. That one song from Drag Race a couple of years ago, Every Day is Leg Day.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Cheryl managed to call the cops. She went back to Lori so that Lori wouldn't be alone, but she got intercepted by Michael along the way. So, Jill and Leon, our resident police, are going to be stopping into the Strode residence.
And Lori's just like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, there's not been an issue. And they're like, do you mind if I come in and look around? And they just find dead bodies everywhere.
Oh, God.
They go upstairs. They see Steve and Nancy are both dead on the bed. Quentin has literally got a fistful of popcorn. And he's just dead. But they immediately forget about him.
Poor Quentin. Because Fung's there and she deserves more attention.
Yeah.
I do really love Quentin. I wish his movie was better.
Yeah.
Because he's very endearing.
Yeah, he was a sweetheart.
Um,
Yeah, they're just finding bodies everywhere, and Lori's just like, I didn't know. Oh my god, how did this happen?
Lori seems really suspicious now.
She really does. Like, they're about ready to, like, all right, we're gonna take this child away from you right now, and we're gonna have to take you to the station.
We're gonna have to call Victor's sister.
Yeah, because, like, Jill and Leon are more modern, so they're probably like, yeah. Nobody's this dumb and unobservant. Even though
So,
she's got, like, a record of just being really unobservant.
so we have 6 other houses on Lampkin Lane that we can fill with some
Yes.
people for him to stalk and kill.
So,
We could
obviously
put the bros.
the bro squad.
Yeah. I vote they go to the House of Pain.
That sounds about right.
And they're just chilling in the basement. I think I've seen kegs down there before.
I was
So,
playing poker.
Arango, help, welcome. Thank you for stopping by.
I feel like Michaela and Elodie would probably end up being friends.
Oh, they would get along 100%.
Yeah.
Talking about all the spooky shit.
Yeah. I feel like she keeps dragging Felix in. Like, Felix is like that guy that, like, he was able to briefly separate himself from Elodie, but, like, he keeps getting sucked back in. Like, they never dated, but he still gets, like, dragged in like he was her ex or something. Just keeps getting pulled back.
I love that
What's
for him, though.
What is the nicest house in the entire neighborhood? Because that's where Yunjin's living.
And they're all pretty much identical. It's one of those neighborhoods. And thank you for the lurk, Arango.
Meg doesn't live there. She just jogs there.
Oh my god, Meg gets caught jogging. Um, Hold on. So Elodie lives there, Michaela's visiting, and Felix, of course. So that's a group.
hmm I could see
Who else?
Claudette, like, hanging out with Adam, because they seem like they're very quiet people. I feel like they'd get along really well.
Claudette, Jake, and Adam.
Actually, yeah. They're trying to convince Jake to, like, stop living outdoors.
Claudette's like, I have an extra room upstairs.
And Adam is introducing him to indoor plumbing.
And Jake's just like, listen, I don't want to live in this capitalist society.
It's like, I've shit in bushes cleaner than this.
How many houses? That's 1, 2, that's 3. We have 3 more houses that we can fill up.
Okay, let's see. I feel like Yunjin would live alone if she
Oh, wait.
could. She might have a roommate, though.
So Dwight, we can have, so House of Pink could belong to one of the guys,
Let's put
and Dwight can be with them. Or,
Dweet and David just own the house.
no, well, here's my thought. So yes, either Dwight and David own the house, and they're obviously together. So Dwight would be with the bros. Or they own a different house. David's off with the bros, and Dwight's hanging out with someone else,
Okay.
Kate and Jane.
He's invited Kate and Jane over.
So we could do that.
Maybe they bring Yui, too. I feel like Yui could...
Yeah, we could use some friends. This
You
can
know...
happen right next door to Yunjin's house.
Oh, God. We should put the bro squad next to Yunjin's house, because she's, like, going to constantly call the cops on him or knock on the door, tell him to shut the fuck up.
Dwight and Michaela could be fun roommates. Ooh, that could be a good one for next time.
So I feel like, you know, if you've got, like, a very, like, scared or a friend that's not very confident, and then you're like, hey, let me introduce you to this person that might be able to give you some tips. And I feel like Dweet's on one side of the spectrum and Yui's way over on the other side, and it's like like you just look at Yui and you have to nut up.
let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yunjin's in her own house, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, technically we could
Uh,
have her have like a roommate like Zarina or something.
we could do that.
So I don't think Zarina would get in the way, and like she would kind of leave Yunjin alone, but not like Zarina just doesn't seem like she would antagonize Yunjin. At the very worst, she might be trying to like get a story. Like I heard that she survived a guy that was killing everybody. She's trying to get the inside scoop.
So that leaves us with not Tap because he's an outsider. He's just following Michael.
Oh yeah,
That leaves
Dweed'll
us
freak out.
Bill and Nia.
Bilbo Baggins and Nia. I feel like Nia probably like worked at a supermarket and Yunjin yelled at her and she's here to tag the house.
I love that.
she's come for the Karen.
That is great. Then we could just give the last house. Like, it's at the end of the street. It's Old Man Bill's house.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows not to go on the lawn. Michael actually steps on the lawn. Bill comes out to yell at him and die.
Mm-hmm. It's like, what's gonna win, a shotgun or Michael?
Michael.
Surprise, surprise. It's Michael.
All right. Now, this doesn't have to be the order. I just wanted to get them color coordinated, grouped up, etc. So, oh yeah, and Meg and Nia. The Meg is out jogging.
Bill's gonna come from outside his house with a shotgun after hearing screams.
Meg can get murked right outside of Bill's house and just tossed onto the lawn. Not tagging Nia's, tagging Yunjin's place. Okay. So the cops start talking to Lori, and then right outside we can have Meg getting just destroyed, right?
Yes. Like trying to find a clip of like the most amazing clothesline. Oh, where is it? I know I can find it. Yeah. Hold on. Of course, it's from wrestling because I am a big wrestling fan. Just Meg's out there jogging, and just here comes Michael. Pap.
All right.
So, we've got the bro squad. They're downstairs playing poker. They're drunk as fuck. Our bro squad is Ash, Ace, Jeff, and David. So, they're out there being rowdy. They live right next to Yunjin and Zarina.
I think Yunjin's the only one who would actually care enough to go yell at them.
Zarina probably has like a nice pair of headphones. Like,
Yeah.
they've lived there long enough that she just got noise canceling headphones and she's fine. But Yunjin is like banging on the door like, you motherfuckers better keep it down. I swear to God. And they're just like, they give no fucks. They're not even answering the door anymore. She knocks so often.
They can't even hear her. They're down in the basement. Like, music's blaring. They're all drunk as shit. Like,
every once in a while, you just hear a chainsaw rev and a bunch of, like... It's like Girls Gone Wild, except it's just the boys going, woo!
what are they doing with the chainsaw? Up to your imagination. I mean, so if Yunjin's gonna be outside, she can get caught on her way back to her place.
Yeah.
I could see her actually just like walking back, and Michael's just there in the middle of the sidewalk, just standing. And she literally just stops and she's like, "Excuse you, get out of my way." And he just doesn't move. And she actually goes to like push him out of the way because she has the balls.
Or she just sees him standing across the street watching her, and she's like one of those people that like yells
What
at
the
people.
fuck are you looking at?
Yells at people on the street like, "Go get a job, you deadbeat!" Like, and he just doesn't fucking move. And then she's like, "Are you trying to intimidate me? Oh my god!" And just like crosses the street to like go fight with him, just argue with him.
In the movie version, it's actually close up of like her shoes, like her heels, just click, 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 click across the street.
Like, she doesn't have any like weapons on her. Like, I can imagine that she's got the nice nails. Like, she could use those fuckers as shanks. But like, he's not, like, Michael's not even doing anything. Michael's standing across the street watching. She yells at him like, "Go get a fucking job, stop looking at me." And then she's like, she immediately goes to, "He's trying to intimidate me," and goes across the street to go argue with him and tell him to fuck off. And Michael just sits there. Like, I can just imagine her just like going straight Karen on him, like right, like just, she's chest height on him, and he's just like looking down, hanging out for a while, and then just like after a certain point he just stabs her.
Again, outside of Bill's house.
Bill's just sitting there like, "Not my lawn, not my problem."
No, I was imagining it was Bill's lawn.
What if they did it like just on the sidewalk, like just outside? And Bill's just sitting there like, "I've been waiting for something bad to happen to that bitch since I moved here." So Bill just
he's lived there longer than she has.
Bill just like, Michael turns and looks at Bill. Bill just like gives him a little tilt of the hat because he's not on his lawn and he just took care of an issue for him.
Oh man. Okay.
And Zarina has no idea that any of this has just happened.
Yeah, Zarina's clueless. She's you know when you're in the zone editing, you hate it, but you're just like focused and you're like, "I'm not gonna do fucking anything else," and you're just like
Yeah.
that's Zarina right now.
I feel like that's like Michael would see her in the window and be like, "Mental note, come back." He's
Perfect.
making a mental to-do list and someone has just entered in.
I think hearing Meg scream before she gets choked and stabbed, and also Yunjin screaming when she gets stabbed, would pique the interests of our sleuths, Elodie and Michaela.
Yeah.
Definitely Elodie, and I think Michaela would be 100% on board. It'd be like, "Yeah, what was that scream? Let's go check it out."
Yeah.
Also, which of these houses would have been the one that Cheryl went to? I feel like
it
Elodie
would have
and
been just
Michaela's.
like across the street.
Elodie, Michaela, Felix, Claudette, Jake, and Adams seem like the most reliable options.
Yeah. But then again, Felix would probably have a cell phone. Sure, it would have been a brick back then, but just like that way, if the phone line is cut everywhere, she's just like, "Can I borrow your brick?" He's just like, he's just carrying like a little the giant cell phone holder.
She could have stopped it at their place. So when they hear a scream, and they already know that Cheryl's been over to call the cops, they're totally interested.
Yes.
They're gonna go out and see what's happening. Spot two bodies just lying on the sidewalk in front of Bill's place.
And honestly, I mean, knowing Cheryl, Elodie and Michaela have probably been itching to have a chance to like poke her. And, she's already dead. Might as well go through her pockets. Because she's definitely got to have like some sort of artifact. Like she's just got a wad of Pyramid Head panties in her back pocket or something.
I was talking about Megan Yunjin.
Oh, okay.
I imagine Cheryl died over closer to the Strode house.
Disregard then.
Okay. I was really confused for a second, sorry. Because Megan and Yunjin were killed outside of Bill's place.
Yeah.
So if they see that, that would give them reason to be like, why are there bodies here, William? One of them steps on the lawn.
Oh no. Yeah, he's just like, yeah, some dude in a jumpsuit and a mask. And they're like, and you didn't do anything? He's like, sorry, but he didn't step on my property. Law says I can only defend if he steps on my property. Sorry.
Felix can go white knight. and be like, are you serious?
He goes, white knight, brown panties, the moment that shotgun cocks.
Do we want Bill to kill Felix?
Doesn't need to kill him, but he could hurt him.
Okay.
You know, he only blows off a foot.
Sure.
And, you know, they send him over to Claudette, Jake, and Adam because, you know, Claudette likes botany. Jake has lived in the wilderness. Surely he knows how to do something. And Adam just looks responsible, so...
Adam's just so smart.
So those three end up taking care of Felix and putting that foot on ice for now.
All right.
Whatever's left of it. So...
Felix is pretty much out of commission. Okay.
Yeah, he's out of commission. Well, he, you know, another to do.
Well, we'll come back.
Yeah.
Okay. Nia's outside tagging Yunjin's place,
Yeah.
so she could easily get nabbed at any point.
Absolutely.
We could have that now, or we can save it for later.
Nia saw that happen, so she's tagging Yunjin's house with, like, Michael's mask, like, the recreation of what happened. Michael just comes over and lets her finish and then stabs her.
Perfect.
He sits there. He admires the work. It's a really, really good picture. It's truly captured the moment. But, you know, gotta stab somebody, huh?
Help me!
We're just here to clear out the neighborhood.
Hey, Zolty.
All right. The boys are making a lot of noise. We can have him go visit them.
The boys are, like, they have TV on. They've been watching shows, and, like, the evening news comes up. Which is how Ash catches wind of, Michael.
Holy shit, where are we?
Oh,
There's
thanks for the host.
Some dude escaped the asylum.
Yes.
Now he's suspected to be in Haddonfield.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ash proposes, let's go find him.
Yes, let's go vigilante on his ass. He's just like, all right, guys, let's do this. It just locks the chainsaw arm into place, gets the shotgun on his back. Ace gets the mace that he's collected over the years of getting it in his eyes.
Secondhand Ace.
David just takes his shirt off. He's ready to go.
Jeff is carrying the beer.
Yeah. He's literally got a keg strapped to his back and a couple of hoses.
They could go find him. I think David would probably actually be the first one. So they'd be like, there he is. And then David's just like, on it.
Yeah, like they see him from across the street. And David just like starts running, like barreling towards him. Michael's just watching him come and just like, he literally runs into the knife and Michael just grabs him by the neck.
And
It's literally like the most graceful thing you've ever seen.
It's like the scene from Dirty Dancing
Mm-hmm.
at the end when they're doing their performance together and he
Yeah.
lifts her up
Yeah,
and they spin for a moment.
he just catches him by the neck, digs the knife into the abdomen, puts him up in the air, spins him around before slamming him on the ground. Which I think that would make Ace hesitate. Like, they were running. Ace has now slowed down to let the other two pass. Let the man with the chainsaw hand go first, you know?
I think Jeff would also slow down.
Yeah.
This is how I think it's gonna happen. I think Jeff and Ace will slow down. Ash will be like, I can take this, revving his chainsaw. We get the scene that I wanted, whereas Ash approaches with the chainsaw, Michael literally just grabs it and rips it off of his hand and then just and just like chainsaws him right down the middle.
At least let me have the part where he walks over and he's like, I heard a lot of people are calling you daddy. I too have been called daddy. Let's tango.
He does need his little witty one-liners.
He does.
At this point, so I think Jeff and Ace would have been mesmerized enough to, from a distance, watch.
Yeah.
But once Ash gets gutted by his own chainsaw, they will take off running.
Yes.
Poor Jeff is out of shape and carrying a keg on his back.
Yeah, he's got the entire keg. Like, Michael can literally catch a hose and knock him over like a turtle.
So I think Jeff will be caught first.
Yes.
Because power walking Michael will. And then
Ace is gonna hide in a house, which I think he will go to where Dwight is, because if that's their house, he's got a key.
yes.
So
He runs away to Dwight's.
Yes. Also, if we look at who's left, Yui is probably the safest person to be with. Other than, like,
Fair.
Leon and Jill. And I feel like Ace would have a very bad relationship with police.
Fair. Okay, so Ace runs over to Dwight, Kate, Jane, and Yui. And they are all the next targets, I guess, if Michael's just going to follow him
Yeah.
there.
And
Meanwhile, you mentioned them, Jill and Leon, I assume, are still interrogating Lori for, like, how did you not know there were 4 dead bodies?
yeah, they've
in your
been
home?
locked in this with Lori, like, because if you look at how everything's been happening, she seems like she could easily be the killer, because
yeah.
the bodies are in her house. She swears
acted
she
like she
didn't
didn't know
see
anything.
anything.
Right.
Meanwhile, like, Tap is watching all this stuff roll in. Like, Zarina just got called into work, and she opens her door, and just dead bodies and police cars. And Tap has been watching this. He's got, like, that big board where he's got, like, strings everywhere, except it's just that street, and he's just got the bodies and strings attached. He's like, that's my guy, I know it.
So well, after Jeff, Zarina just comes out for work. And there's just bodies everywhere.
Yeah.
And then she gets caught and murdered.
Yeah, that'll work. Hi, Magical Panda.
All right. Ace runs off to Dwight's place to deliver the sad news that he is now a widower.
He just, like, runs in, like, unlocks the door, runs in, closes the door, locks everything. Dwight's sitting in the corner with the others, and he's like, hey, sad news, David's dead, guy's coming, save me. And Dwight's just like, what? Oh, God.
You are right, though. Yui is the best option to be with.
Yeah.
So Dwight's really focused on David being dead.
Yeah.
I think Kate would be comforting Dwight would be her priority. Jane and Yui's priority would be like, what do you mean a man is coming?
Yeah.
Who are we going to fight?
Yui's like
Um,
taking shit out of the kitchen, like finding anything she can use as a weapon. Like she heard dude is coming and she's like, I've been through this shit before. Uh
that's true.
let's get some weaponry going here.
Immediately goes and grabs the biggest knife she can find.
Yeah, she's got like a fire extinguisher, she's got a knife, she's got Kate's hairspray and a lighter. Like we've got everything we could throw together here,
Oh my
ready to
gosh.
go.
I kind of love this. I think they're all going to die, but I love the idea of Kate with the hairspray, Jane with the fire extinguisher, Yui with the knife, Dwight and
Ace
Ace just
Ace is
hunkered down in a closet like hiding.
Ace is hiding behind Yui.
Oh man. Yeah, Ace would not fight. Ace is just like, I saw Ash
Yeah.
get his chainsaw ripped off. But if you guys want to handle this, I'm not going to stop you.
Yeah, he's just got his mace out. It's the best he's got.
He accidentally
So,
maces everyone
oh
else.
my god. Yeah,
That would
Dwight
be terrible.
Dwight is so like we just have like Myers breaks the door down, just kicks it down, and Dwight screams. But then like at the last second he's like, "No, I got to do this for David." And like he accidentally like Ace accidentally maces him in the face because he wasn't expecting Dwight to move like that.
Oh. And then since Dwight is maced and really can't fight, Michael gets him.
Yep. And they can't really, throw the chuck fire at him when Dwight's right there.
They can when he's dead.
And you throw Dwight at them.
Okay. So they're gonna hold off until Dwight's dead, and then Yui's gonna be like, "Get him!" Like she'll be the one to call the shot.
I think that he will throw Dwight at them. Like,
Oh God.
just chuck him at him. And Yui gets out of the way. And Yui just
Okay.
goes to fight Michael like hand to hand. And she's gonna lose, but I feel like she gets a stab in. Like, she's the first one to injure him the whole time. Like stabs him like straight in the shoulder, like barely misses like a good spot, and the knife is just like sticking out of him.
But then he chokes her
Yeah.
and guts her.
At which point Yui's just like in the choke, she's like, it's a hairspray. Like she knows she's going down. So Kate like lights him on fire. And it does like stun him for a little bit.
It causes him to drop Yui, but she's already a goner.
Yeah. That
And
might
that
give
makes Kate his next target.
but if he's stunned from being on fire, that might be like that the other three can escape and go to the police.
Okay. So they run out to go find to go call the police, and they see a cop car parked outside the Strode house.
Yeah. Yeah. Which obviously
Bodies all over the street.
that will shift the focus from Lori to that guy across the road.
The one on fire.
Yeah. At which
Uh,
point, like, Lori's like, okay, well, I need to leave this house. She's gonna go to, like, Grandpappy Bill's house.
wait, who?
She might go to Bill's house. You know, like the old guy usually has like that one kid that they're like they're all right.
Yeah,
That's Lori. It's like she's
she's
not
well behaved.
she's not really observant, but she doesn't do anything bad. Keeps like one of those little plastic stick popsicles. Like keeps them all in the fridge. And she's like, I'm a teenager. And he's like, it doesn't mean you can't like popsicles.
Fair enough. Jill and Leon can go try to fight and die.
They go to confront Michael. Michael's not there. He's just gone.
We still have a lot of people alive.
We do.
It's too early for him to vanish. Plus, it needs to be Tap needs to be the one that at the end Michael's
Yeah.
just vanished.
But he can vanish and go to somebody else's house, like Felix, Claudette, Jake, and Adam's house.
Okay.
Because he needs to get himself fixed up. And he did see them take that one guy without a foot over there. So he just plows through Claudette, Jake, Adam, and Felix. Felix can't fight back. Claudette's not a fighter. Jake, I don't know. He might hit him with a stick or something. Adam's trying to talk him down.
So just killing all six of these real quick.
I thought Elodie and Michaela were outside. I thought
No,
they
they
dropped
took-
Felix off and like went out to go do some stuff.
Oh, I thought they were staying with Felix.
I felt like I assumed that Elodie and Michaela were like friends, so like Felix was almost a third wheel. Elodie's
Finally.
upgraded. But I mean we could take out 6. That's fine.
Yeah, we can keep it to the 4. Ah, okay. So he's stunned. Kate, Ace, and Jane run now to go call some cops. They see the cop car at the Strode house. They go there. They're like, "There's a guy. He's killed some people. We set him on fire. He's currently at our place." They go, but there he's gone. Turns out he went over to Claudette's, and because surely there's something there that can help him with the burns. But he also finds Felix, Claudette, Jake, and Adam and kills them all.
Yeah.
In the way of burn ointment.
Let's have him kill Ace. Like,
Okay.
let's have him come in with the sheet. They're all looking for this guy in a jumpsuit and a mask. And he just walks up to Ace in a sheet, and Ace is like, "Listen, I think Trick or Treat's canceled." And Michael just kills him.
Just where?
Just right out on the street. The cops have gone to investigate the other body. Ace is like, feels safer, and then, sheet ghost. Surprise.
Kate can be our scream queen.
Yes. We gotta give Michael a little bit of whimsy. So he stabs Ace and then uses the sheet from the sheet ghost to like strangle Kate to death.
Perfect.
And yeah, I think he can power walk the others down pretty much. Like the other 3.
I need him to end up on Bill's lawn somehow so that he has a reason to kill Bill.
Well, that's because Lori went there.
True.
So
Good point.
He will be stepping on her lawn shortly.
That can be at the end. Cool. So, Jane was with Kate and Ace.
Yeah.
So I think she would be next, and then we can get Elodie and Michaela, who are just out exploring. They probably are the ones that found Mia's body behind the house. They're looking at the picture, and they're like, "This is beautiful. Like, I can't believe she died."
It's like,
But this is great.
This belongs in an art museum or a gallery. My God.
They're like taking pictures of it and shit.
Yeah.
Um, okay. So Jane gets strangled, or Kate gets strangled with the sheet. Jane,
Jane goes and hides, but she thinks she's safe, like she's hiding behind a tree or something.
but
She
her
goes to
ass is
like,
just too thick.
yeah, she goes to peek out. Michael's like, right there. As he does, his mask is like right there. So she turns around. It's just like nose to nose.
Right. Uh, I imagine they're back there looking at Nia's picture or Nia's tag, taking pictures of it. Michael shows up, and they're just like, "That's the guy in the picture." And then
Legit,
he just gets them both.
just legit replicates it with Elodie. Michaela has her book out and she's like trying to cast some shit on him. He just turns around to stab her and she like holds up the book. The knife goes straight through the book and she's like looking at the edge and just like lets go and takes off running. But my God,
Dude's power walks.
he's been power walking to the 80s since he was born.
All right.
At which point I feel like we need to get into a firefight between, Leon and Jill are just shooting away.
Uh, hold on. So Bill, or not Bill, sorry. Leon and Jill.
Yep.
Michaela's running away. She runs out from behind Yunjin's house, screaming that Elodie just got murdered. Gets Leon and Jill's attention. They see this man power walking behind her. They start firing. It's stormtroopers in Star Wars. They can't hit a shot. They maybe get one or two, and it's just like off of his shoulders and shit. And then he goes and kills them.
Yeah. It's one of those where they take a bunch of shots and then they don't see him anymore for some reason. And they're like, where did he go? And then he's magically like right behind him.
Perfect. Michaela's still running.
Mm-hmm. She makes the mistake of stepping on Bill's lawn.
That's what I was thinking. Bill tells her to back up.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, there's a guy out there who's gonna kill me. He's like, I don't care. And then Michael comes up
kills
and
kills Michaela and throws her body on his lawn.
at which point Bill starts taking shots at Michael.
Bill rises from the patio chair, shotgun in hand.
Lori now realizes that there was indeed somebody.
Yes. Still can't see him, but she knows there's something amiss. So she tells
I was gonna say she sees him. This is where she screams. Tap shows up.
Oh yeah.
And it's like
she just tells
Tap's just like, come with me if you want to live.
She just tells Victor to run. Victor just yeets
takes
out of
off
a window.
down the street. Just But this could be so if Lori sees Bill just get absolutely murdered by this guy.
It's time for that classic scene of her closing a door, slamming into it with her face pressed against it. And then screaming.
Tap somehow broke into the house without Bill noticing.
Yeah, Tap has been collecting the bodies like on his board, and he figured out where he is finally. This is where he's heading. Tap is in the house.
Because he knows that Michael's actually after Lori, so he found out where Lori went.
Yes.
Lori's the last one alive. She's pressed up against the door. Taps behind her. Just like reaches for her shoulder. She fucking screams. She was not anticipating anybody being in the house. And Tap's just like tells her don't fucking scream.
Yeah.
And that he's been following the guy, trying to capture him to go back into the asylum. And
He works for Mr. Herman Carter.
that was his name, wasn't it?
What?
Was that the guy's name? The doctor?
The DPD doctor.
Oh, okay.
He's works for Mr. Herman Carter. He's trying to take him back.
Michael hears Tap's voice, recognizes it, and is like, "Oh shit," and runs. And then we can end there with both of them alive.
No, they gotta fight with him a little bit.
Okay. What do you want?
Obviously has to break down the door. Like,
I mean, do we want do we want Tap to not show up yet? He's in the house, but Lori doesn't know yet.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So Michael goes up. We get the classic scene, and she's screaming like a son of a bitch.
She's running upstairs. She's throwing shit down the stairs. He is unfazed.
Yeah.
She as soon as he's about to stab her, she slams a door in his face. The knife goes through the door. It gets stuck for a minute. He has to pry it out, gives her time to run.
Yep.
But she's trapped herself into a room. There's a bathroom with a window. She thinks she might be able to climb out, but it's also 2 stories.
Yeah. I'm just imagining it's Bill's house, you know, just all the shit that she's going through.
Oh
like,
my god, all the weapons.
yeah. She
There's
like
so
doesn't
much
know
to choose from.
she doesn't know how to shoot a handgun, so she's just like throwing it at his face.
There's a gnome.
Yeah.
She hits him over the head with Noam Chomsky.
So obviously she doesn't have her knitting needles, but she might be able to find like a, you know, an army knife or something. So like he comes in to stab her. She's trying to go out the window. He pulls her out, and she whips around like and stabs him with the army knife.
He's just overly dramatic.
Mm-hmm.
She jumps out the window. She lands like a cat on her feet because she is the ingenue.
What are you talking about? Her fall gets broken by Michaela's body.
Oh my god. That's horrifying.
At which point Tap might come out and rescue her. Like, we gotta get you out of here. I know what's wrong with this man. They just light the whole house on fire. Like he's a spider. Like, I'm sorry, the whole house has to go.
I think that's actually how it ends with... So the new movie came out this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one before it, I think that's how they actually ended it.
Spoiler! Jesus!
What?
I haven't seen that one yet.
It's been 3 years. I haven't seen it either. Everybody knows how it ends.
I didn't even get to go through the haunted house with that one.
There was a Myers haunted house?
Yes! It was too long, though. It was like 3 hours long in September.
What
It was
year?
like 2 years ago-ish.
Oh, okay. I was like, I don't remember that.
This is the first time I ever went. They had a Myers house, and it was like 3 hours always.
But yeah, they trap him in the house to burn it, and that's where Halloween Kills starts.
Hmm.
That's why the firemen show up at the opening scene.
Well, there we go. They light the
Uh,
house on fire, and then they watch it burn down and just assume that it did the job.
Perfect.
It's like the one inept guard trope. Like, surely this is exactly what was needed. Obvious to be continued. We need to make a list of all the killers that have TBD or TBCs.
All of our sequels.
Yeah.
I know Huntress is one.
Trapper was one.
Oh yeah.
Um,
This will require a lot of research to go back on.
it's like we straight up killed Nurse. Spirit was still alive.
But I wasn't really a to be continued either.
It was kind of a peaceful ending.
Yeah.
Same with Wraith. Poor guy. He wasn't even trying to kill anybody. It's that goddamn bus window.
We have a sequel where Wraith just finally accepts that everyone around him dies, and he's like, I'll just control it and do it myself then.
Wraith goes to war against the bus.
It's just him at the crusher.
Yes, Wraith returns to his previous place of employment to put down the bus that killed so many innocent people.
Well, let's recap our movie real quick.
And technically Legion was a to be continued because Susie and Julie made it.
Oh, yeah.
And we're enemies now.
That's right. They were.
Because Susie is now Legion with her little group.
Yeah. All right. So, it's Halloween night in Haddonfield. We have Lori, Quentin, Fung, Nancy, Steve, and Cheryl who decide that they're going to watch some scary movies together. Quentin says, hey, you know what's great with a scary movie? Popcorn. I'll go make some. Quentin goes off to make popcorn. As soon as he leaves the room, Steve just leads into the rest of the group and is just like, does Quentin look different? And then Fung's like, no, what are you talking about? He's like, no, he's like really hot now. And Nancy's like, excuse me? And Steve's like, well, not as hot as you. You know, trying to recover. And in the process of trying to recover from saying that Quentin was hot and upsetting Nancy, Steve and Nancy decide to wander off where he can make it up to her. Quentin never returns with popcorn. In fact, he actually just gets choked and stabbed very quietly in the kitchen. Steve and Nancy, while they are upstairs boinking, also just any noises that the others hear from downstairs they're just gonna think that it's something else. So any screams, any moans, any groans, Steve and Nancy are just having a good time. Not dying. Definitely not dying. But they are. Anyway, it's been a while. Cheryl keeps looking out the window and talking about seeing some guy out there just watching them. And Lori's just like, will you stop that? Nobody's out there. Just come watch the movie. And Cheryl's like, no, somebody's out there. And then Fung's like, hey, Quentin's been a while. I'm going to go check on him. As soon as Fung goes into the kitchen, Cheryl's like, hey, that guy left. And goes to sit down with Lori. When Fung goes to check on Quentin, she also does not return. I forget, did Cheryl actually find their bodies and then leave to go call the cops, or does she just decide to call the cops because some weird guy's standing outside?
I think she just decided to go call the cops.
Okay. So Cheryl's just like, hey, she looks out the window and sees the guy again? Maybe that's what it was? I don't know. She just decides to go to call the cops. The guy's creepy. Not good vibes. But the phone line is cut. And so she's like, hey, I can't call the cops. So I'm actually going to go across the street and call. So she goes across the street to Elodie's house where Michaela and Felix are also there. Their phone line's also not working, which is really suspicious. But Felix has a fancy new cell phone. So she uses that to call the cops. And she's like, thanks, guys. I'm going to make sure that Lori's not alone. And as she's walking back, she runs into Michael and she graciously accepts death
Yeah.
as he stabs her. So she never makes it back to Lori's place. Lori's just enjoying the movie. None of her friends are into it. She's like, fine, I'll have fun with the movie.
It's the only thing that keeps Victor from screaming is just the horror movies, the slashers.
Oh God. Meg is out jogging, and as she goes past Bill's house, Michael's there, stabs her, dumps her on the sidewalk. The boys, David, Ash, Jeff, and Ace, are all over at, we'll call it Ace's house, down in the basement, watching movies, revving chainsaws, having drinks, a good old time. They're very loud. Their neighbor Hyunjin can't tolerate it. She hates it. So she goes over, she's banging on the door, yelling at them to keep it quiet. It's the middle of the night. They need to be courteous of their other neighbors. They don't hear her at all. They don't even acknowledge her existence, which pisses her off even more. So when she walks back to her place, she sees this guy just standing across the street, staring at her. And she's just like, what are you looking at? Go get a fucking job. He still keeps staring at her. And she's just like, do you have a problem? And he just keeps staring at her. And she's like, listen here. She crosses the street to go tell him what's what.
Click,
And
click,
as soon
click,
as she
click,
gets
click, click, click,
yeah, the click, click, click as she goes across really quickly. And as soon as she gets there, he grabs her, picks her up, chokes her, stabs her in the gut, discards her next to Meg's body. He sees the house that she came from, and in the window he sees another lady just upstairs. And his target has been marked for later. All of the screams outside, plus the fact that Cheryl had recently been over to call the cops, has Elodie, Michaela, and Felix very suspicious. So they go to investigate and see Meg and Yunjin's bodies discarded in front of Bill's place. Bill's been sitting out on his porch the whole time.
Mhm.
He actually saw both murders take place, but the guy's making sure that they weren't on his lawn, and it's not his business. So he's not worried about it. But of course, when they see that, they're just like, what is happening here? And he's just like, some guy came and stabbed them. They're like, you didn't do anything? And he's like, not my problem. To which Felix is like, what do you mean it's not your problem? Goes all white knight, starts to approach Bill. Bill pulls up the shotgun to warn him to get off the lawn. And Felix just like, you can't just let someone murder in front of your lawn and not do anything about it. And Bill takes a warning shot at Felix's foot. With him being injured, Elodie and Michaela very quickly take Felix over to Claudette's because they're like, surely she knows how to do something with this while we wait for like an ambulance or whatever. So they drop Felix off and they go around to keep investigating like what's happening, who murdered those two bodies. Is there are curious gals.
Yeah.
Nia works at a grocery store and recently had to put up with a Karen. One of the worst Karens ever. A Karen by the name of Yunjin. And as payback, Nia thought it would be very funny if she found out where this Karen lived and then went and tagged her place. And so she does. She shows up on Lambkin Lane in Haddonfield and finds this lady's house and also sees her get stabbed from across the street and thinks, wow, that's poetic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to paint that on her house. Which is very dark. But Nia proceeds to paint. As she's painting, Michael ends up showing up behind her, watching her paint. He recognizes the scene, and he's like, you know what? This is good. This is a really good picture. I really like this. She sees him. She starts to stop. He just shakes his head, looks at the picture, nods, and she just hesitantly keeps going. But once she's finished, he stabs her so that she can tell no one. The boys having their good old night, watching some scary shows and stuff on TV, the news comes on of an alert of a man who has escaped an asylum and made his way over to the nearby Haddonfield. Everyone should be on the lookout for Michael Myers, a very dangerous individual. And the boys are like, hey, that's here. Let's make sure he doesn't mess with anybody. So they leave. Uh, David takes his shirt off, ready to fight. Ace grabs his mace. Ash grabs his chainsaw. Jeff straps on a cake because they're going to need beer for this. And they go outside. They see this guy walking down the street and they're like, that's him! Get him! And David takes off running. As David is running straight at Michael, Michael's just standing there, pretty much clotheslines him by grabbing him at the throat, picks him up, chokes him, stabs him, discards his body. As soon as this happens, Jeff and Ace slow down. Ash does not. Ash barrels forward, coming at him. He's not scared of anything. In fact, Ash has a reason to fight. Because the last words you hear Ash say is, I heard a lot of people are calling you daddy. What was the whole line? I only put the first half.
I heard a lot of people are calling you daddy. You know, a lot of people have called me daddy. Let's tangle. Let's tango.
At which point, Michael grabs Ash by the base of the chainsaw, rips his arm off of it, and then uses said chainsaw to mow Ash down the middle and kill him. Jeff and Ace have fully stopped, watching in horror and amazement as this is happening to their friend. And once Michael is finished with Ash and turns his attention toward them, they take off running. Poor Jeff, both out of shape and carrying a cake, will not make it as far as Ace. So Jeff gets caught, gets pulled back, knocked to the ground like a turtle. Excuse me.
Okay.
Like a turtle. Yeah, I've been drinking sparkling water, so. Like a turtle, where he will be stomped and stabbed by Michael, while Ace runs off to go to Dwight's house to give him the bad news. While Jeff's being murdered, or shortly as Michael is finishing up murdering Jeff, Zarina, who he had targeted earlier, is leaving to go for work. She has a night shift. She got called in. And as she's stepping outside and sees the bodies, before she has a chance to really scream, Michael's there to silence her. And Tap is watching from his car. Not yet intervening, but taking careful note of what Michael is doing and where he plans to be next.
He's got to ambush him. That's
Exactly.
the only way to defeat evil incarnate.
So he will not interrupt, but he is witnessing all of this. Ace gets to Dwight's house, delivers the bad news that David has been killed and Dwight is a widower, unfortunately. Dwight is distraught. Kate is comforting him. All Huey heard is, there's a man who murdered David and he's on his way. To which Huey says, we're going to fight him. Kate, where's your hairspray? Throws her a lighter. Grabs a fire extinguisher, passes it to Jane. Grabs a knife for herself. When Michael shows up, Dwight's just like, I can't let you get away with this. This is for David, and runs at him. But of course, Dwight is a little baby. He is small boy. And gets probably clotheslined in a similar way that David did, honestly.
Well, he got...
he got maced.
Yeah, he spooked Ace, and Ace maced him on accident, so he's just
That's true. So he can't fight at all.
Yep.
Yeah, because Ace was going to mace Michael, but nobody expected Dwight to just run straight at him, so he got in the way. That's right. But Michael, while Dwight is maced and crying, and Michael's just gonna stab him, and then throw Dwight toward Kate and Jane. Yui takes this opportunity to get a stab on his shoulder. She's the first one to get a shot on him, but She does die as a result because while she's close enough to stab him, I mean, she's close enough to also get stabbed.
Yes.
And his is more lethal. As he discards Yui, Kate fires the hairspray because Yui's last words were, "Get the hairspray now," as she's being choked. So Kate hairspray lighters him. Michael is caught on fire, which does stun him and buys time for Kate, Jane, and Ace to make a run for safety. Good night, Fox. Thank you for being here. Uh, get everything that happened.
They go over to Lori's house where Leon and Jill had met up with Lori and were like, and you say you heard nothing. You had no idea that there were 4 dead bodies inside of your house, one directly outside of your house. And Lori's like, no, I had no idea that anything was wrong. And they're like, she's the fucking killer.
Right.
Until they all run over and they're like, holy shit, this guy. And then they're like, oh, so then they run across and Michael has vanished.
Right. Lori takes Victor and goes over to Bill's house for safety. And while Michael has vanished, he's actually gone over to Claudette's house because he saw that's where they carried off the guy with no foot. I thought that's where he can get some help. Not from the people inside, but surely they have something for the burns.
They've got stim packs in there.
Yes. So he doesn't want their help. In fact, he'd rather they not be there. So when they are there, he just kills them all. And so that's Felix, who just can't fight back. Claudette, who also really can't fight. Honestly, yeah. She's a delicate flower. Jake could put up a little bit of fight, but stands absolutely no chance. Same with Adam. A little bit of fight, no chance at all. Ace, Kate, and Jane are waiting outside of what they consider the safety of the Strode house because the cops are on high alert and their car's right there. A sheet ghost shows up. Stands next to Ace, and Ace just goes, "Listen, pal, I think Halloween's probably over right now. There's some crazy shit happening." And as he's talking, the sheet ghost stabs him. And makes sure he's dead. Kate, standing next to him, screams at the sight of Ace getting stabbed. The sheet ghost then takes off the sheet, revealing it was Michael all along, and strangles Kate with the sheet. Jane runs and hides. But the trees in the suburbs are just not thick enough for the thickening of her ass.
They can't hide her trunk.
And as she's hiding behind a tree, the camera's close up on her, and you just see her slowly turn around to another side of the tree, and then Michael is right there, and she dies. Elodie and Michaela, intrigued by all of the murder that is happening, decide to be their own sort of sleuths. They find Nia's body behind Yunjin's house, and they see the picture, and they're like, wow, this is a great painting. It's very sad she had to die. They're going kind of taking pictures of it, and as they're taking pictures of it, Michael shows up, cured from his burns, and recreates the scene of killing Yunjin with Elodie.
Just imagine he just smells strongly of aloe vera at that point.
Something. Stabs Elodie, then goes for Michaela, who pulls out her book just in time. The knife goes through the book, saving her and buying her time to drop the book and run. So she's running and screaming. Leon and Jill notice that she comes running out from behind the house, and she's just like, he's here, the killer, as one does. Then Leon and Jill see Michael power walking behind Michaela.
He's just moonwalking. He's not even walking, like, facing her. Just
moonwalking out behind the house. They start taking shots at him. And they miss many. They hit a couple, none lethal. There's gun smoke everywhere, and as it clears, Michael's gone. And they take a moment to be like, "What the? How did he fucking vanish?" And then all of a sudden, he just appears next to them, and one by one, just chokes them, stabs them, discards them away.
Mm-hmm.
Michaela's still running. She gets to Bill's lawn, because that's the last beacon of safety. Bill's been out there the whole time. He obviously knew this guy. The guy didn't kill him earlier, so safest place to be is obviously Bill's. But as soon as she steps on the lawn, Bill stands up, cocks his shotgun, tells her to back up, and she's like, "There's a guy out there murdering everybody." And Bill's just like, "Well, stay off of my lawn. I don't want the business over here." Michael shows up anyway, murders Michaela, discards him on Bill's lawn. At which point, Bill's just like, "Well, now it's my business." Rises with his shotgun, ready to fight before he has a chance to, I guess, shoot Michael. Maybe he does shoot Michael, and then Michael just staggers a little bit or something.
It's like hitting him with
Anyway.
a fluffy bunny toy.
Right. He actually has a bulletproof vest underneath everything, and he was fully prepared for this night.
Michael has literally worked out so much that his muscles are like steel.
They're Kevlar.
Yeah, it's just Kevlar muscles. He's that well built. He's just a slab.
So Michael just saunters right up to Bill and kills him right on his own porch. This point, Lori yells at Victor to run away home. And Victor pounces out the window and scurries down the street. And then Lori runs into Bill's house, slamming the door. She's leaning up against it. She can hear the breathing on the other side. And then the door opens. And instead of like locking it or anything, she just takes off running through the house, using everything she can get her hands on as a weapon, including a handgun that she doesn't know how to shoot, so it's a projectile of its own now that she can throw at him, lamps, a gnome, literally anything she could find in Bill's house that can possibly slow this guy down, she throws it. She runs upstairs. Just as he's about to stab her, she slams a door. The knife goes through the door. This is buying her a little bit of time. She is in a bedroom, but there's a bathroom and there's a window, and she can maybe get out. Army knife on the nightstand next to the bed, or because Bill's always armed. She grabs the army knife. She makes her way for the bathroom window, and as she's starting to go out, Michael goes to grab her. She stabs him in the arm with the army knife. Pun intended. And this causes him to release her, buys her enough time to get out the window. She lands softly on Michaela's body, so her fall has been broken. And as she starts to run, Tap shows up and is just like, "Hey, hi, I'm Detective Tap. I've been following this guy. I'm trying to catch him. Stay with me. You'll be safe." And she's like, "He's in the house." And he's like, "He's in the house? Perfect." Pulls out a gasoline tank and a lighter, I guess. And Tap's just like, "We gotta burn the place down." And Lori's on board.
We know how much gunpowder Bill's got in that house.
Oh my god, it would explode.
You just throw one match in there and it's like fucking fireworks. The whole thing just explodes. His entire house is a Michael Bay film waiting to happen.
All right. I love that. The whole place is a bomb. To be continued.
Yep. There we go.
Beautiful.
So next week is for sure Demodog.
Yes, Demo Pepper.
Put that shirtless Michael back up there for a little bit. So yeah, next week definitely Demodog, because I obviously am feeling better. I've only coughed like 4 or 5 times this entire time. So
Good.
yeah, we'll do demo. We don't even have to discuss now. Already know who we're doing.
Yay! Look at us being prepared and stuff.